Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your review show. It's part of our daily show. I'm your host, Khalid Maiden. This is the show where we talk about all the things that happened in the first test, day one in Karachi. Now, South Africa, Pakistan into a full battle. Sorry that I'm a little bit late, guys, because I just wanted to put up the press conference piece and the press conference for you guys to watch as well later after you finish with this show. And then we can obviously talk about everything that happened in that press conference right now with Aditya and cricket connoisseur and Mpo as well. So we're going to really get into we got to get into a massive discussion. I'm just laughing at Aaron in the comment section over here. We have a little private chat going, always chirping nicely and enjoy. Puts me in a good mood. So thank you a lot for that, Aaron. Yeah. So before we get going with all of this, please just remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, please. That's the first thing that you have to do because 60% of you guys this month have been watching without subscribing. So go ahead and click that subscribe button. And also, you guys know that we have a Patreon available. If you want to become a patron today, all you have to do is click on the link in the description and you can join us on this journey. I have so many benefits for you as a cricket fanatic fan, obviously as a cricket fan, as a fan, and as a fanatic as well. So please go ahead and do that for us. If you want to get involved and get your comments highlighted, go ahead and do so. You can do that right now if you go to the link in the description as well. But you can go to the super chat to get your comments highlighted as well. Just click on the $ and contribute with the super chat. That's to make sure that I read your comments on screen. So let's get going into the review show. I'm going to bring on our guests. We've got Aditya waiting for me. I've got Aaron, and I've got Paul waiting for me as well. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hello, lads.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think if you caught me if the match finished at around about 12 o'clock, you would have gotten a different look on my face right now. But at the end of that, it was quite a good game in the end for South Africa. As Dean Alga said, and as Aditya covered for us in his review show, in his press conference reaction, basically. Dean Alga saying that South Africa are in charge at the moment. I agree. I think that 220 when we got only 220, I was swearing all sorts of words here in the house because I was so disappointed with the way we batted. I think that a lot of the batting was not necessarily down to good bowling. I think the only wicket that was really down to good bowling was probably Faf's one. I think the rest of them was all because of South Africa's poor shot selection, stupid decisions to run between the wickets and getting run out when they don't need to push for runs. I think that's what happened actually in this particular match. But let's go around the screen. First and foremost, let's ask Aditya what Dean Alga had to say. What are some of the highlights over there, Aditya?
I think it sums up in one sentence when he said that it's the balance between pushing the run rate and really trusting your defense that was responsible for the 220 that South Africa scored. And he said very importantly, you've got to earn your right to play aggressively, which the South Africans didn't really do. And I suppose you have two runouts, and then you're trying to push the run rate. It's at some point, it's evident that it's more of a mental battle as opposed to demons on the pitch. And as Dean showed, as Temba and George Linde showed, and even Faf, even though his knock was pretty brief, and they showed that it wasn't as severe as some of the Indian wickets that they've batted on. So I think the 220 could very easily have been a 400, if we had a couple of partnerships going.
I think what we predicted there at the beginning when me and you were arguing a little bit, Paul, my alter ego was arguing with you about whether we should bat first or whether we should bowl first, because I was trying to play the devil's advocate over there. But as you can see, what I thought about Aiden, once again, playing at deliveries that he shouldn't. I think that's a delivery he could have probably left. And the way he defended it was very open face, man. Like he didn't really put his leg forward or try to go further back.
For the first time, I'm going to try protect him.
If I
Okay,
look
I
at
love Aiden Markram, but I
so
mean,
I'm
I'm going
gonna
to be
try to protect
critical of
him.
you.
I'm gonna protect him. Yes. To a certain extent, yes, he was slightly open, but the angle made him play, and I think that's the thing that South Africans. And I hope you and Hendricks kind of brought that in the nets for them was that angle that the left-hander creates to the right hand, to the right-handed batsman. And he had to play at it. He could have let it go because of the angle,
Yeah.
but if you are standing and you're looking across from you, you don't know if the ball's gonna come back in or not, and you kind of have to play at it. And I kind of felt that he was one of the guys who actually got a good ball, including Faf. If I looked at the 10 wickets, I think 5 of the wickets was some good bowling. So it was Markham, it was Faf, Maharaj. You could say he got a nice one. Nokia got one that he couldn't do anything about, like the poor dude. And Lungi got a good one on the toe. The other 5, which are irritating because it's also senior batsmen, those 2 run outs, the 2 slogs to mid wicket that were caught, and both the slogs that were to win mid wicket were people that were set, and also chasing that wide one, which was Dean, who was playing for the spin, even though there wasn't. I thought it turned a little. Which is why he got the edge. I think if it went straight on, he probably would have hit it or got a bit of an under edge or inside edge there. But for me, I felt that the South Africans were just too aggressive, especially the senior batsmen. They found themselves to be too aggressive. I love the way Timber batted. I love the way George Linder batted. I thought that partnership was great. It kind of worked, but the problem was obviously if you are coming in and your team's behind the 8 ball, coming in at 150 for 5 or whatever it was at the time, 170 for 5, whatever it is, you kind of feel to put the pressure back onto the bowlers, you need to rotate the strike a little bit more because every dot ball creates pressure on you rather than if you're 100 for 2 or 150 for 2, every dot ball creates pressure on the bowler because they need to get wickets. And I think that's where the game kind of South Africa kind of capitulated in that lower middle order. But from a top order perspective, I felt that they were being positive, but the fine line between positivity and aggression was crossed a lot of times because of the lack of consistency that the Pakistani bowlers brought. And I think that was something that needed to be because we were getting 4 balls a lot more than I expected. Especially in that first session, the run rate was like 4.8 in that first session, which was ridiculously high. And I thought it would drop, and it should have dropped because obviously the spinners came into the game, but the South Africans didn't change their approach, and that's why we got a lot of those wickets out. You need to rotate the strike, and you need to be comfortable that 3 and over is okay. You don't need to go at 4 and 5.
That's the thing. On a pitch like this, dot balls are actually showing that you understand what the conditions are. Leaving some deliveries, I mean, that's important.
Timber and George saw that, but the scoreboard pressure kind of got to them. And that's where I think that kind of, because George's shot, he could have played it, as you saw wickets falling around him, Timber kind of felt that he needed to try and eke out runs, and Timber's always going to try look for a quick single. And to a certain extent, it is his fault. But 2 runouts in Test cricket on day 1 is criminal. You're not. What are you chasing? You're chasing nothing. But the interpretation of what the pressure is important. And I think South Africa missed an opportunity. But oh my word, that spell, that hour in that final hour was just amazing, guys. Kagiso is just incredible. I'm sorry, Kagiso is just. What more do you want from a guy who just?
We're just lucky. We're lucky that we have him in our team because don't have him.
If you look at the way in which Lungi and Anna bowled compared to the way Kagiso bowled, it's night and day. And Kagiso just honed in on off stump and was like, "Look, this is what is needed." And then Anna caught on at the end that wicket of Shaheen Shah Afridi was just a pea. It was beautiful. I loved it.
But that's what's key because there was a lot of variant bounce in this particular wicket, and KG played into that by bowling consistently in that area towards the stumps, and because of that you'll get lucky. The ball will either keep low or will go a little bit higher sometimes. So by keeping that accuracy, that's where you get in Test cricket. That's what it's about, though, man. It's persistency, patience, just keeping your head. That's my point, and that's something that our younger batsmen need to learn, or not younger necessarily by age, but also Rassi, for example, something that he must
No,
also
but
learn.
Dean said it. Dean said it. You need to earn the right to play Test cricket.
Yes.
And it's not the first few balls. It's you just need to always be consistent in your approach. And you need to understand that for a batsman, you leave the balls. For a bowler, you must always be on point, line and length, top of off stump. That's what you need. And even Keshav's wicket of Baba Azam was just unbelievable. I was like, you know what? I didn't expect that, but I'll take that. And to a certain extent, that's what makes this South African side a better side than the Pakistani side, is that our bowlers are much better. They may be inexperienced, but our quicks can win us the series. And it's a blessing in disguise. And I hate that Tabrez got injured, because I would have loved to see him on this pitch.
On this pitch would have been amazing.
But it feels like it's a blessing in disguise to actually have three quicks in Lungi, Anna, and KG, especially with the new ball, because we already got 4 wickets with the new ball, and it's about 12 overs old. That's incredible.
Yeah. So the only thing I don't agree with you over there, Paul, and that everything that you said that is wonderful, is about the scoreboard pressure. I don't agree with that at all. I think that others think there's no need to have that, especially on a pitch like this, where you can be patient and you can bide your time and find the gaps and make a couple of things. But to push for seconds and to push for runs when you don't need to, and to play at 11 minutes in an attacking mindset, it's not on this pitch. Like,
but
the way
if you're coming in at 150 for 5, you kind of feel like you need a counter punch.
But and you don't need to. That's the point. You don't need to on this pitch.
That's why the mindset is, I need to kind of push it back. There's no need, yes, but you kind of want to put the pressure back onto Pakistan, because you're constantly under pressure. You've got batsmen around you. The way you need to do that is rotate the strike to push people out. And
generally speaking, on a green top, I feel when the bowlers are getting some movement and the bowlers can attack you, then getting some runs will put pressure off them. But I think on a pitch like this, what's more valuable is being able to punch, to frustrate them, because they're going to be bowling consistently on spots, and if they're not going to get your wicket and not get you playing at the ball, that frustrates them more than actually you taking runs off them, because I think they will prefer to get runs, actually, because then you're getting more confident and you play more, so that you will obviously have a shot and make a stupid flipping shot like that and get out like Quinton did, which irritates the crap out of me, because if you're a senior batsman, you need to be able to, and the captain of the side, and I know Quinton will come back most likely, and I'm happy that the situation is as it is, because it sets up a second innings, because it gives South Africa a second chance to actually come in here and actually put on a good batting performance, which we need to see. I can't give them excuses for this poor batting performance. I'm sorry. That's just going to be me. And look here, this is my...
I'm not excusing them. I'm just saying that it's just put it in their shoes, especially for George Linden and Temba, in terms of when you come in, you've lost everybody. Your top 5 have left you with 150 runs. There's nothing more that you can do apart from trying to tick it over. And George Linder felt more comfortable doing that, but Temba was struggling. He spent like 40 balls and he was on like 6 or something like that. And he needed to feel bat on ball and get to the other side, because sometimes you don't want to sit on an island and every ball's an event. And that's what I love about playing Asian teams, is that every ball is an event. They get everyone around you. They make it so hard. And yeah, that's what it was. And I kind of felt that Keshav, George, Temba felt the pressure of, we're behind. We need to get this team going. But these guys have the upper hand. And so, yeah, but...
Ooh. Sorry, guys. Before you get into anything, there's just some breaking news over here that this came through from Cricket South Africa. Now, this is obviously from after that, and I know, Umpo, you know about the whole article and the recording of Zach Jacob and the journalist. So, the chairperson of CSA Interim Board, Justice Zach Jacob, has listened to the published recording of a conversation between him and the Sunday Times journalist, Tisetso Malepa, and Judge Jacob acknowledges that the tone of this comments was inappropriate and apologizes unreservedly. Some inappropriate statements were made by Mr. Malepa, specifically in previous articles involving Judge Jacob and the work of the interim board, which is unfortunate. Judge Jacob has said that he has no objection to the publication of the recording in the interest of transparency. As a former justice of the Constitution Court, Judge Jacob is committed to freedom of expression and the media's role in the democracy as outlined in the Constitution. Furthermore, the interim board is completely committed to transparency and openness is in its dealings in the media. Judge Jacob has made himself available for comment. So his phone is going to be buzzing off today. I just thought I should break that news for you guys.
I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't swear at people and call people idiots again. Now it's just ridiculous.
But let's just get back into the comments. Okay, me and Paul are having a go, and I love it because I love it when we talk to each other like this. This is when I have my most fun interviews. Is when me and Paul have opposite views. So I'm really excited about this. Aaron, your point of view as an outsider, and then Aditya, your point of view on what we've said.
To be honest, lads, I was quite enjoying that, to be fair. A bit of a tete-a-tete. It was very, very entertaining from my perspective. But yeah, I can actually see both of your points, to be honest, because Khalid, with regards to your kind of thinking, with regards to just digging in, frustrating the bowlers, it's something that England did very, very well in Sri Lanka. The likes of Joe Root, Bairstow, etc., etc. They dug in, saw it out for a bit, and then started to accelerate as the innings progressed. But then again, from Mpo's perspective, we saw Australia versus India, Rishabh Pant, Shardul Thakur, Washington Sundar as well. So it does depend on the situation. I think in the subcontinent, I'd probably choose Khalid's methodology of thinking, but that's just my personal view. With regards to South Africa's batting, it was very, very interesting, wasn't it? Because we keep on mentioning it. It's almost becoming laughable, smart, aggressive cricket. And unfortunately, it's very, very aggressive, but at times it's not. Yeah, at times it's lacking the cricketing smarts per se, and I just feel like with regards to South Africa's batting, put something together, some decent, substantial scores. We saw this with the Sri Lanka series. This South African bowling attack can win you any game against pretty much any opposition. And I had a fantastic stat, saw this on Twitter. Since 2015, South Africa's bowling attack has the best average of any team in the world, 24. It's better than New Zealand, it's better than England, it's better than India. Every single other country is the best. So just thought that was quite an interesting one. Average of 24 between your bowlers. So if your batsman can actually get it together, okay, play this smart, intelligent cricket, and I know we're going to keep on mentioning it till the cows come home. But at the same time, if they can just dig in, rotate the strikers, and Poe rightfully said, get together some substantial partnerships, get together some big scores. This South Africa team has a lot of potential, but it's about actually putting that theory into practice, and that's something that I don't think we've really seen enough just yet. And we saw that yet again today. Quinton de Kock giving his wicket away. Wasn't overly happy with that dismissal, to be honest. Quinton's a much better batsman than that. And also George Linder as well. I can almost be a bit more lenient with George because obviously hasn't played a lot of not first class, but Test cricket. So, and as Sempo said, scoreboard pressure. But overall, an interesting day's cricket from a South African perspective. I think in terms of the batting, definitely a bit disappointing. But then again, that final session was absolutely electrifying, wasn't it? Brilliant bowling from Kisa Rabada. I also have to mention Quinton de Kock's captaincy. I thought he was very, very inspired. The change to bring on Keshav Maharaj at the time that he did, got a lovely bit of purchase off the surface, just slid on, got the massive wicket of Babar Azam. And then, of course, the game plan to Imran Butt as well. Getting the opener out for 9, that fantastic piece of sharp bowling from Kisa Rabada was just brilliant. I mean, I'm going to watch that replay quite a lot over the next few days.
World class, that guy, I think, in my opinion, is world class.
100%. One of my top 3 as well. Him, Pat Cummins, and Jasprit Bumrah, my top 3 in the world right now. And Jofra, of course, as an England fan, have to mention Big Jofra. But yeah, KG, what an absolute, he's just a legend, isn't he, in the making. 25 years of age, 199 Test wickets. And not only that, I cannot wait to see him reverse swing the ball. Him versus Shaheen Shah Afridi with a reverse swing in red ball is going to be absolutely blockbuster. So in summary then, I know I've waffled on for a bit there, boys, but decent day with the ball. Could have been a bit better with the bat, though, is what I'd say.
Yeah, because I think that thing that you mentioned about smart cricket, man, my thing is like, you don't necessarily have to have every single player have to think at the crease. That not every single player has to play like that. Some players are instinctive, I can understand that. But if you have some core guys that can play smart cricket, like Dean Elgar's doing it perfectly. He's adapting to the conditions. He's adapting to the situation. He's understanding the batsman on the other end. He's doing all of those type of things. So like he understands when to play and when not to play. And it should give a guy like Aiden a little bit more freedom to play his game more freely because he's taking the pressure off the batsman on the other end, and obviously putting the pressure back on the bowlers by the way he's playing, because they have to guess. So, and Faf, someone like Faf should be able to do it at this point with his experience, and someone like Quinton de Kock should be able to do that as well. But I think Quinton for so long, Quinton has been this instinctive player that's coming in when we're in trouble and digging us out of trouble, putting the attack or the pressure back on the bowlers by attacking the way he does. He needs to kind of work that out in a way, because now he's a captain, so he has to kind of play a little bit.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing for me with Quinton. If you want Quinton to be aggressive and attack, he needs to come in at 6. If you want Quinton to be the anchor of this innings, to score hundreds, to score big hundreds, 5 is the perfect position, but he needs to change. He needs to play with a little bit more restraint.
Exactly.
Because South Africa was comfortable in those years, a couple of years ago, with Quinton coming in at 6 as a counterpunch. You know, you've lost 5 wickets, slightly early-ish, but Quinton's job was always to be aggressive. Now it's more of, okay, Quinton, we need you to find runs, score runs. Don't hit shots, but score runs. Look for places where you can. Yes, he has that ability to do that because he's that intelligent. Of a cricketer, it's changing the mindset, and to a certain extent, I do feel he felt he was bowled a bad ball, but to a certain extent, he got out to it, and that's the disappointing, because when Quinton identifies the ball as bad, he wants to throw everything in the kitchen sink at it.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, that's largely his downfall. I think from a guy like Aiden Markram, this is the best opportunity for him to thrive and to play freely, especially with Dean Alger looking as good as he is. The man's on form, the man's a run machine, and you kind of need Aiden to free himself up and play every ball on its merit. And and this is what I hope Mark kind of spoke to the team. It's being able to identify every single ball, especially for the younger ones. You need to be able to identify what is being bowled to you in order for you to make the decision, because that's what makes a great Test cricketer. It's you play the ball late. You have the ability to manipulate the field, put the ball where you need it to, when you need to put it. Whereas instead of playing premeditated shots, or for instance, a Shaheen Shah ball that he wasn't swinging the ball in, it was always going across you. There's no need for you to engage with that angle. You can always shoulder on. It's things like that that guys who are young in Test cricket need to learn and get through. Also with a guy like Rassie. Rassie bats slowly. We love it. That's why he's at number 3. What he needs to do is he needs to identify that you don't have to run for everything, especially if you start slowly. Slow starts are great. We love it, because it's irritating that when you look at the scorecard, 8 players got into double digits and none of them kicked on, apart from Dean. And you could say Dean didn't kick on as well. And that's the disgusting, that's the sad part about it. You know, you can't have a scorecard where 8 guys are in double digits, which means that the pitch is not that bad.
Yeah, so Aditya, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to throw you up here in place of Aaron. Bye-bye, Aaron. Aditya, give your thoughts on that, please. I would like to hear, from an outsider point of view, what does South Africa really need to change over here? Because I know we've spoken about it quite in depth over here, but there must be some thought of things that we can really improve on, or how do we go about improving it?
I think it's mainly mindset. You know, in the Indian cricket narrative, for example, when a team is really looking to kick on, as South Africa have tried to do, as you know, in the way that they've tried to be aggressive, it's actually playing into the hands of the opposition, because the opposition knows that the team is not trusting its defense. For any team that's trusting its defense, they're not really obsessed with run rate, because they know that the runs will come. You put the bad deliveries away, that's good enough. You know, you take 3 singles in an over, that's fine. You rotate strike. But if you play out a maiden over, it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world, and certainly not on the first day of the Test match. So one example that I can give you is you look at how Virat Kohli played in England in 2018. You know, in the press conference before the game, he says, when you go to England, I know I'm going to be facing Anderson, I'm going to be facing Broad, and Anderson's got my number a couple of times. But when you go to play in England, you have to put your ego at the door. Simple as that. You respect the bowler when it's their time. You cash in when it's yours. That's it. And for all this talk about intent and aggression and kicking the run rate on and things like that, ultimately it's the win and loss against your name that matters. So if you make a really ugly 100, that's fine. I don't think an ugly 100 is worse than a beautiful 30. So at some point, as Dean Elgar said, you've got to earn the right to play aggressively, and you've got to trust your defense, which I don't think the South African batsmen are doing.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I love Aiden. I want Aiden to become the best batsman in South Africa. Obviously, that's my thing, and I'm gonna give him tough love, basically. So it's more about, for me, that's the one aspect of his game he needs to learn, is because he goes out to a lot of medium fast bowlers. I looked at his record, and a lot of the time, if the ball moves a little bit, he gets thrown off because he plays at deliveries he doesn't have to, or he's trying to play too attacking. Like, yes, you hit an amazing four like that with a cover drive through the covers, beautiful four. That already puts pressure on the bowler because they know, okay, he has it in his arsenal. In Test cricket, you don't have to go again and again and again because you don't have a power play. They can just change the field around and put someone there, and then it closes off your angle. So it's a whole different mindset. Sometimes a leave is beautiful as well. I thought that someone like Jacques Kallis was brilliant at that. He knew exactly when to leave the ball. And people would say, oh, no, he's playing for his own average. He's playing for himself. No, they needed him to anchor an innings and actually play like that. Because South Africa has struggled over the years to get consistent opening batsmen that are pairs that can play together. We both are performing at the same time. A lot of the times one that performs and the other one doesn't, and then it switches around. So you need to find that balance. And I think that Aiden and Dean have that capability. With Aiden's ability to attack, what's perfect about it is I feel that the guy on the other end can really take the pressure off Aiden. Try to rotate the strike. I think Aiden should rather first rotate the strike a little bit more, give the other guy on the other end that's a little bit that eats up overs a little bit more time to take his time at the crease and grind out the bowlers, because the more tired those fast bowlers are, the easier Aiden's going to get a bad delivery. You saw Hassan Ali. They were very all over the place as the innings went on, as the overs went along. If he was batting with after 10 overs with Hassan Ali and Shaheen Afridi bowling at him, and they were missing their lines, Aiden would have made it. It would have been a whole different ball game. And I just think he needs to learn how to leave deliveries, because that's something in his arsenal that he doesn't really have. Let's wrap it up, guys. Sorry, Aditya, go ahead.
Yeah. We often talk about, in all this talk about aggression, and, we look at, I think in the last 20 years, Australia have been the most dominant side. You look at Matthew Hayden's strike rate, career strike rate in test matches was 60. Ricky Ponting's career strike rate was 58. And of course, we like to label them as aggressive players because they did try to stamp their authority on opposition. But it doesn't mean that, they had the slam bang approach all the time. They also knew when to defend, and they were secure players. And I think that's something South Africans need to focus on. This entire talk about run rate is just putting more pressure on the players.
Mm-hmm. So let's just wrap this up, guys, quickly. Let's go with what your final thoughts are of this game. Who do you think is going to... How do you think the day 2 is going to be? Let's have a little bit of a prediction. Let's start with Aditya, and then we can go around the screen. Aditya, Kiki Connoisseur, and then Mpo.
Yeah, I think South Africa is going to nail it tomorrow. That first hour is important, and I think they're going to be fired up. I'm confident that they will have a lead.
I just want to say before Kiki Connoisseur starts speaking, Aaron starts speaking, guys. The whole day, Aditya's messaging me and telling me, don't worry, we're going to be okay. Don't worry. I'm stressing out, I'm messaging him here, complaining about everything. He's like, don't worry about it. Pakistan's going to bat just as poorly. I was like, okay. Go ahead.
All I'll say, lads, okay, fair enough, be confident. But there's one man who I think could hold the key to this innings for Pakistan, and he's already out there in the middle. Fawad Alam, he is going to frustrate South Africa if he stays in for a while. He's a really gritty, resolute, dogged batsman. He will just stay in there, eat up deliveries, rotate the strike when he can. So I wouldn't get overly confident just yet. I think you can have a bit of confidence. I think South Africa are definitely on top. But with him, you've still got Rizwan coming up as well. You never know. Test cricket is a funny, funny game. It really is. All it takes is one big partnership, in particular when you've only got 220 runs on the board in your first innings. I wouldn't act as though we're winning the test match just yet. But with that being said, I think South Africa, firm favourites, fantastic evening session. And I think if the likes of Linda, Maharaj, if those two can really get into the game now, almost just turn the screw, put the pressure on these Pakistani batsmen, it creates some almost, well, as I said, pressure for the likes of Norkir Rabada to come in, then I do feel like South Africa are definitely favourites to win this game. But I'm just saying, let's just be a little bit more cautious.
I don't agree with Alga at the moment. I don't think we're right on top. I think great first to come fight back, to put us in a position to come back the next day. But I'm not going to say run away with it and say, look here, because they still got two key batsmen over there, like you mentioned. Yes, Paul, your thoughts?
I'll walk with Dean and say they are ahead. Look, we can't scoff at the fact that they took 4 wickets. They did. They took 4 wickets for 28 runs. Pakistan are in a hole. But at the crease and coming up are the 3 informed batsmen this season, the guys who scored runs in New Zealand. So you're gonna have to, and obviously Babar Azam, because he should be part of the Fab Four. We'll discuss that some other time. But he's out. It's Azhar Ali still in there. And guys, so for me, the first session will give me an indication where this test match is going to go. If Fawad Alam becomes the Karachi crab and just moves the ball around like he does, because it's like bowling to Chanderpaul. It's someone walking across his crease. It's going to be incredible to watch. And I think if you have, just watch how he does it. It's amazing. So I think that first hour is going to be crucial. The first session is going to be crucial. If South Africa can get those 3 wickets in that first session, you could then say advantage South Africa. But effectively what South Africa did, if you want to use tennis parlance, South Africa have brought the game to juice, and they are serving to put themselves to put themselves ahead in the game. So I think from that perspective, that's what's going to be. It's going to require the bowlers to come back and redo what they did in the last hour, which we know in South Africa you could find a flat hour somewhere of bowling, and also. Yeah, I think. Look, I think both teams might end up being around the 220, 230s, 250s there, and it's the second innings that's going to prove. The thing that's in our hand is the fact that we don't have to bat last. So, yeah, I think that's how it's. But like tomorrow morning, it's KG, Fawad Alam. Let's go.
Blockbuster.
Yeah. But if you're watching, please, second innings. Please do it for me. I've sent you many screenshots of me playing with you on those cricket games where you're scoring 300s. So please come on.
Khalid, if I have him on WhatsApp, if you want his number, I can get it to you.
Yeah, no, I have his number. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I sent him a lot of screenshots when I said, okay, look here, I've played with you on this game. Look here, you scored 250. And he's like, that's gone. So, okay, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please, I created a new HD, more like subscribe button. So you guys have to click and subscribe, please. It looks a little bit better than the other one. The other one was a bit grainy. Almost like the dusty, how the field looked today in Pakistan for the first 5 minutes. Hazy. But anyway, thanks a lot for tuning in. Please subscribe. Yes. Obviously, like, comment, share, subscribe. If you guys...
Before you go, Khalid, before you go, if you want to watch along with us, you can watch on One World Sports Radio's channel. We've got commentary going. We even have a scoreboard, and we've got Ken Borland's on, which if you like Ken or don't like him, he's still got great cricket knowledge. And I think Derek Alberts might be making an appearance tomorrow. So we're just trying to bring the game closer to everyone. If you're tired of Daryl Paladin, like everyone.
Yeah. I think everybody is. Guys, please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell for all future videos. Of course, you can become a patron. I put the link a couple of times in the live chat as well, and you can become a patron by clicking on the link in the description from anywhere that you are in the world, whether you're from India, from Pakistan, from England, from South Africa, wherever you are, you can become a patron today. Join us on this journey. We give you exclusive content, etc. So it's a real awesome deal that you get out of it. I think that we also have a Discord where you guys can chat with me whenever you want to at any time. I might make some of you guys on the screen over here, maybe admins that you can also get involved in the chats. That will be awesome with the fans. So you guys just get involved with that. Become a patron today to join that. Go to cricketfanaticsmag.com for all your updates. We do our session moments for every single session, and Aditya does reaction pieces of the press conference. We also probably post the video there as well. Subscribe to the latest issue of the magazine, and subscribe to the magazine. It's free. The link is on the screen and in the description. If you guys have a business, you're looking to make sales online, even if your business is offline, we can help you. There's a link, free tutorial on this channel, and a link in the description. Thanks a lot to everybody for watching. Thank you to Aditya, Mpo, and Aaron for coming on the show. Thanks to all the fans that have supported us. And we'll see you again tomorrow for another review show. Take care.